Hey, Super Cruisers, it's Frank and Kevin from Cruising with Wheels.
That's right. You have questions and we have answers. Another Q&A. So today's a special day. Do you know why, Frank?
Why?
I know you don't know why.
Why?
Because today is kind of like the 50th anniversary
of
Q&A, because this is episode 50.
Oh, God.
So thank you for joining us for the 50th episode.
Wow.
And I want to start out by saying that if you have a question that you want answered, you simply have to email the question to
cruisingwithwheels@gmail.com.
and we will answer your question through the email, but we will also might pick it for our Q&A.
Right, share it with everyone else.
So what's the first question, Frank?
The first one is from Daniel. The question is, can I go fishing while I'm on my Alaskan cruise?
What an interesting question.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of people would probably think, what the hell is he talking about? He can't throw a fishing line over the ship.
Well, not from the ship you can. But yeah, there's plenty of opportunities and excursions in a lot of the Alaskan ports where you can fish. And I think salmon is the number one.
It's the number
one.
Well,
fish.
Specifically king salmon, pink and silver salmon. Sockeye, halibut, rainbow trout, char, and steelhead.
You are up on your fish,
yes.
Considering that we
did a lot of research on this question.
We do not eat fish.
Because we don't eat fish. But, and you can do, some people would think, well, I don't want to waste my whole day in fishing. Like, maybe it's a husband and wife, I'm not going to be sexist here. Maybe it's a husband and a wife, and the wife wants to go fishing when the husband doesn't. They offer usually a half-day excursion and a full-day excursion. Right. So you could choose either one.
And excursions, you can book it with the cruise line or from an outside company that does it. But I would think that it would be much better to go with an excursion from the cruise line or a company there, and not think that you could probably go out on your own. You want to make sure you are fishing in a designated, approved area.
And you want to book your excursion rather than you doing it all on your own and renting a boat or whatever, because within the excursion price is included the licensing. Right. And they handle all that for you. And you, in some instances, can have your fresh catch packed and shipped back home.
I know. I didn't know how horrible is you go do a great fishing and you catch fish, and then, you're like, okay, this is great. What do I do with it?
Now, on some of the full-day excursions that I was looking up, they actually will fish in the morning portion. And then they cook the catch and you eat it right there. So that I thought that was kind of cool too.
Wow. That's nice.
Prices start at about $180 per person in what we found, and they vary by the cruise line. So if you're going to have it packed and shipped home,
it's going to cost you money.
It's going to cost you more too. But
if that's your thing,
go for it. Our next question comes from Marie. And Marie wrote us and said, are there babysitting services on board the ships?
I'm not babysitting your kids, Marie. Sorry.
I'm not babysitting your kids either. But the answer to the question was yes. Almost every cruise line offers some kind of babysitting options. These can be day or nighttime groups. Usually, there are group sessions. Many are free, but a lot of them do have a cost. Sometimes what I found is, like, the day sessions are free, but the evening you have to pay a fee.
Right, and they're also limited to a certain time period, so you're not going to be partying till 2, 3 in the morning.
Remember the child? Were you with me? I don't think you were with me. I think it was Darlene and David. Or maybe it was just Darlene, and we saw the little kid who had a sign on him that said, they were kind of shaming the parent, but it said, it didn't say, "Mommy didn't pick me up," but it said, I'm part of the 4 a.m. club.
Oh.
Or something like that, or 2 a.m. club, because the place closed at midnight.
Oh,
and they
parents never came back?
Never came
Shit,
back.
Come on.
No, they were having too good of a time. We also
Shame
will
on
advise
you.
you, Marie, that some cruise lines offer in-cabin babysitting, but that definitely carries a fee.
Yes.
But it's nice if you want to slip away for a few hours.
Yeah, and you really do need to. Parents need to unwind too. It's not just, the kids.
Now, all these options will depend on the cruise line specifically, right. And whether it's fee or free will also depend on the cruise line. So check that website of the cruise line that you're traveling, or give your travel professional a call or email. Next question comes from Karen, and what does she say?
Karen is asking, how long does it usually take to get off the ship? I thought usually.
Well,
we can tell you.
It depends on what you're speaking about, because there's two parts of getting off the ship. Right. We don't know if you were talking about getting off the ship when the cruise is over with, or getting off the ship when you are in port. So we are going to go with the port first.
Once they make the announcement that we are, we're in port, we are cleared to dock, because there's procedures they have to do. There's long lines. Everybody wants to get off at the same time. So a lot of times you maybe want to, it depends. If you got an excursion, then you're probably going to be part of that excursion group that is leaving the ship at a certain time.
We will say if you have a booked excursion, you will be one of the first people to get off the ship. It is a lengthy process, and people are always impatiently waiting.
Yes.
Basically, I would say what we tend to do is we wait about an hour. Because the first hour, it's very crowded. People are irritated. They're pushing. They want to get off.
Because remember, the people who are doing excursions have gotten their excursion tickets. It says the excursion is at 9:30. You must be in the a certain designated area, like the theater, and they'll announce group number 1, such and such excursion, come with me, and then you're all led to get off the ship, and then the next one and the next one. But if you're like us sometimes and you're freewheeling and just want to get off and do shopping, we wait an hour.
Well, we'll wait about an hour, depending on our status on that cruise ship.
Yes.
Or cruise line, because if you are considered on certain VIP levels, then you get priority.
Yes.
So we are now close to the Sapphire level on NCL, and with that level, you get priority disembarkation. So we have a special line. We go. Most cases, they'll have two exits, right? They'll have the regular people exit, and then they'll have the VIP exit. So we will choose that exit every time if possible. But don't think you're going to sneak in, because they check your cards.
Right. Now, if you're docked because the cruise is over, it's disembarkation day, Karen, and you should have already picked up your colored tags, your disembarkation colored tags, to attach to your luggage for the night before, and that tells you when you're getting off the ship, and they'll call it, by certain time by color code.
So disembarkation day, generally in our experience on all the cruises we've been on, is usually 2 hours from start to finish. Done.
But you could be one of the groups of people who are like, I'm like, I carry my stuff.
Easy walk off.
Easy walk off. I got my one bag I walked on with, and I got my one bag I'm walking off with, and they're first off the ship, but it's usually the earliest time slot on the list is when you're walking off.
If you're very concerned and you do not have the VIP level on the cruise line that you're traveling, you can look into things like Royal Caribbean's The Key, Faster to the Fun, Carnival. Most cruise lines will have a buy it kind of thing. So look into that as an option. Our next question comes from Gwen, and what does Gwen say?
Gwen wants to know, am I able to do laundry while I'm on the ship? Now,
why would you want to?
I know, that would always be yours, but we say there's a difference between can I do laundry on board, or can I have my laundry done while on board? Because cruise lines, usually all of them offer a laundry service to be done for you, but companies like Carnival, a lot of their ships...
And not all of them.
Yeah, not all the ships, but a lot of the Carnival ships actually have small laundromats on the ship where you can go in and do laundrettes. You can go in and do your own.
I've used the laundry. We were on the it wasn't the Carnival Valor. It was a Carnival ship.
Conquest.
It was either the Conquest or the Victory. Maybe it was the Victory. We spilled something, remember? And we only brought one shirt, one dress shirt, and that was back in the day when we were dressing up and yada, yada, yada. And I went to the laundrette. It was across the hall.
It was. That's probably why you went. You were like, hey, what the heck? It's right there.
It was $3.
I know. And they have
expensive.
They have dispensers where you can buy little packets of laundry soap and dryer sheets. But again, it's going to cost you.
So the quick answer to that question is yes, laundry service will be available, but laundrettes or laundromats kind of on the ship, you're going to have to check with your specific ship that you are sailing.
Otherwise, you do what we do. We avail ourselves of the service.
Right.
And you know.
Well, we have the VIP.
Yes.
So we get 2 free bags of laundry.
But when you get to your cabin, you're usually going to find the laundry bag is in the closet with the forms, and if you need stuff sent out, you just pack that bag, fill out the form.
As full as you can get.
Yes, and they will clean it for you, press it for you, deliver it back.
Now, Millie asked us, what is the best deck on a cruise ship?
We always get this question.
This is a very, very difficult question.
And this is why they say, ask 10 cruisers, and you'll get 10 different answers.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you're a sun goddess like Darlene, you'd want to be on the Lido deck. Yeah. We were on the Lido deck.
That was kind of nice.
It was really nice. That was the Conquest.
Yeah.
We were on the Lido deck, I think it was deck 9.
Because you go right from your cabin.
We walked right out
deck,
and we were right by the pool.
Which is food and pool. Food, pool.
Now, if you're a foodie or, you know, you're really into that, you know, restaurant, a certain restaurant, you want to pick a deck closer to the restaurants. Gamblers?
Casino deck.
Casino deck. Generally, there aren't too many cabins on the casino deck, though. And most Carnival ships, when we speak specifically to Carnival, they had their ships laid out so that's on the deck that you can walk completely from the front to the back inside. And typically, the higher the deck, the more movement you're going to feel.
So think about that if you're a seasickness movement kind of person.
Right, you really have to consider that. Now, a lower deck?
Yeah, a little often more noisy because they're closer to the engines. So you get the vibrations.
And I find that it's a cheaper cabin cost in a lower deck. So I find that there's more families. So you get a lot of...
Yeah, kids running up and down the aisles.
Kids running up and down. You probably can't even see my hands hitting the table.
Like us, we kind of stay to the middle of the ship, in the middle of the ship, in the middle of the decks.
Usually, that's a good bet for anyone who's worried about noise or movement, and that's what we prefer. But we know many cruisers that prefer the aft.
Yes.
We know many cruisers that prefer the forward.
Right. Well, who doesn't like an aft suite?
I like an aft suite.
We had an aft suite. It was wonderful.
It was wonderful.
You know.
Now, what's Marilyn want?
Marilyn wants to know, is water free on a cruise ship? Go to the nearest tap and turn it. There's your free water.
It is. You can get tap water, whether it be from a sink, your bathroom. There's drink dispensers usually in the buffet where you can get water. And sometimes cruise ships will even offer free bottled water.
Right.
But that's few and far between.
Right, and a lot of times if you do get that, again, we go back to the status.
Right.
is you may get free bottled water in your cabin because you're a higher status for that cruise line.
But don't expect the fancy stuff,
No,
like Avion or
the sparkling waters.
Perrier.
Perrier.
What am I saying? Paraguay.
And,
I don't know.
And again,
Paraguay.
And again, you can request ice from your cabin steward or waiter if you prefer to drink the water cold.
Exactly. Next question comes from Jerry. What's he talking about?
He says, when they talk about the cruise fare, what exactly is included in that price? No, that's a question.
That's a loaded question.
Yeah.
So typically cruise line fares will include your cabin on the ship, the calls on a series of ports. Your tender ports include transportation to and from.
Right, you don't have to pay for that little boat to take you from the ship to the island. That is included.
Fares will include complimentary dining.
Yeah, free restaurants and buffets.
Not all the restaurants will be free.
That's right.
And a few non-alcoholic beverages.
Yeah, like I'll get, like in the buffet, you'll get the lemonade if they offer it, cranberry juice, free coffee, free tea, things like that. But then if you go to certain spots, like ships that have the Starbucks.
Right, that's going to be extra.
Yeah, you're going to be paying for the specialty coffees.
You'll also get your entertainment included, but very often it's limited. So they'll have free entertainment, but they'll also have like the dinner show we went to.
Right. Pay for that.
And yeah. So and it depends on what you're asking us, whether it's what the cruise fare you're seeing online advertised.
$3.99. Ooh, 7 weeks, Bahamas, and you're like 7 days. 7 days of Bahamas, and
it's going to be the bottom of the basement, lowest category.
Right.
And chances are they're sold out of it.
Right.
And it's not going to be that price because that usually doesn't show the port fees and taxes.
Right. So that's the thing is when you're seeing these advertisements for $3.99, $4.99 per person, blah 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 for the
or the promotions you get.
Yeah, it does not include the taxes, does not include the port fees, does not include the gratuity fees per person per day for the week. So yeah, once you do the numbers and add that up, and again, we did a video on it, which was, the hidden cost of cruising, where all this stuff adds up. So don't just look at that number and go, I can go on a cruise for $3.99. Oh my God. No, you can't.
Now, Vivian wrote in, and Vivian wanted to know, how do I know when my final payment is due? So Viv, here's the answer for you.
Your final payment due will be listed on your invoice.
Or your confirmation that they email you or mail you or...
once you've booked, you're going to know exactly when it's due. Now, final payments can be due. And again, things have changed a little with the pandemic because cruise lines have changed. Some are due 60 days prior, some 75, some 90, or the 120 days prior to sailing. It depends on the cruise line. So, it depends on,
So only you know when your final payment's due.
And, and how much time you have to save your money.
Oh, I love this name.
Oh, Spencer. Yeah, this is from Spencer. He wants to know, are there ATMs on board the ship?
Lordy. Of course there's ATMs aboard the ship. However, most charge a very high usage fee.
Yeah.
If you need cash while you're on the cruise, though, it will be cheaper for you to use the ATMs while you're in port, or you can bring traveler's checks.
Yep.
Or I got another tip for them.
What?
It can be very dangerous if you're a gambler. You can go to the casino while it's open, put your card in, and you can charge your room. We have done this because
dangerous.
There will be a fee. It's usually like a 2% fee or a 1% fee, or like depending on your status. So there was no fee for us because of our status. But you basically, it loads the money on the slot machine. You hit cash out. You take it over and you get your money. And then you don't have to pay those high fees.
Right.
It shows up on your bill at the end of the cruise as an entertainment fee. Just be very, very careful of choosing that option.
And the last question?
The last question is from Madeline. Can I bring any guests on board the ship before it leaves?
No.
You think this is Love Boat?
I know, no.
Even back when Love Boat was Love Boat, they didn't allow it.
You cannot do that. There are strict security measures and custom laws, and cruise lines do not allow non-booked guests onto the ship or actually in the cruise terminal. Because once you get to the cruise terminal doors, you have to show your ID and your cruise ticket before they'll even let you in the terminal. So you're going to have to say all your goodbyes from the parking lot or whatever prior to walking in the cruise terminal. Sorry. Kisses outside.
We hope that you've enjoyed today's video and that we've answered some of your questions, even if you hadn't written us those. And thank you for joining us for another exciting video. And remember to not just watch our videos, but become a regular Cruising with Wheels family member. We want you.
We want you.
All you have to do is hit that little subscribe button and don't be a ding-a-ling. Hit that little bell to get regular notifications of when our videos go live and when we go live every other Sunday.
And remember, we're on all the other social media platforms. So follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And remember to always travel safe
and cruise often.